What does a drug addict look like to you? You might be thinking of a homeless person on the side of the road begging for money, somebody who looks skinny and sick. You might even be thinking of somebody that you know. Well, my name's Xavier and I'm a drug addict. I still consider myself that, even though I have over 10 months clean, sober, whatever you want to call it. But I do that because with or without drugs, I have the disease of addiction. A lot of people get confused when you put disease and addiction together. The kind of common stereotype of an addict is somebody who just uses drugs. Like, if they really wanted to stop, they would, right? Anybody can have this disease. It doesn't care who you are. The people who have this don't just choose to have it, like I said. Like all diseases, I can't control the fact that I have it. Every day is a struggle. I have to remember why I'm doing this and what I'm doing it for. All diseases are different. Addiction is not different than any other. It's different like every other disease. It follows the main three characteristics of a disease. It's progressive, it gets worse over time. It's chronic, you live with it throughout all your life, and it can be fatal if left untreated. In 1987, the American Medical Association actually classified addiction as a progressive illness. It follows all those characteristics that I stated earlier. The tools that an addict needs are a lot different than any other disease. Addicts normally don't need medication, but what we do need is a complete rewiring of our brain, a new way to live and a new way to think without drugs. For me, a treatment center was the best option for that. It taught me all the different coping mechanisms and ways to live. It also taught me that my ego was a pretty big problem, and it taught me the root cause of why I use. It also taught me that being 18, doing puzzles and coloring books was not that fun. And I don't want to do that when I'm 20, 30, 40, so I'm hoping this is the last. If you've ever tried to help an addict, you probably know how hard it is. They push you away, deny that they even have a problem. Addicts don't want help unless they're sick and tired of being sick and tired. For me, I wasn't. I didn't think I had a problem. I mean, I had a 3.8 GPA, I was on honor roll, and I was doing the leads in my school's theater program. I mean, my life was pretty great, right? No. On the inside, I was struggling. I was in the deepest, darkest depression of my life, struggling just to live day to day. And that's why I used the drugs. I used them to help me with that. The only reason I got help with this addiction is because of my parents. I was at my friend's house one day. We were hanging out. My mom texts me. She says that she's going to hang up curtains in my room. Not a big problem, right? Well, I actually hit a bong behind one of my curtains, so her texting me that really scared me. I knew what her next thing that she would text me was going to be. She was going to ask about it, and she did. She asked me what it was, why it was there. Obviously, she knew what it was. She just wanted to hear me say it. There's no good excuse you can give for a bong being behind your curtain. So I just got in my car and drove home. When I got home, my parents talked to me. Obviously, I was grounded. And they also asked me a question that really hurt, but at the same time, it was really necessary. They asked if I had anything else. I obviously did, but I lied to them and I told them I didn't. They said if they found anything else, that they would call the cops. I didn't really believe it. I thought it was just a false threat, like an empty bluff. So I was nervous, but I wasn't. Told them there was nothing else. Obviously, there was. I ended up going to work. My stepdad had to take me because I was grounded. I can't drive. Work wasn't bad. I was stressed the whole time, but the shift itself wasn't stressful. My stepdad ends up picking me up, and he had a look of worry and disappointment on his face. He's a pretty serious guy, so seeing him in any sort of emotion kind of messed with me. I knew at that point that this game was over. I couldn't hide, lie, and sneak anymore. We got home, and I walked into the house, and on the dining room table was everything that I had laid out in a perfect row. Also at the dining room table was the county sheriff. That I wasn't expecting, but it's pretty good that it happened, though. He talked to me, talked to my parents, talked to me again, and he asked me if I had anything else on me. I actually did. The most chargeable thing that I had, not even the pills and powders that were on that table, I had 2.5 grams of THC concentrate, which I didn't know over 2 grams is a felony, punishable by up to 11 months in jail. So when he told me that after I showed it to him, I was shocked. I was scared. I mean, I'm not even 18 yet when this happened, and I was being punished by up to 11 months in jail. I talked to my parents. Parents talked to the sheriff. Sheriff came back and talked to me. My mom gave me a little bit of an ultimatum. She said I could either go to treatment or be homeless. The sheriff gave me a similar ultimatum, but he did give me a place to sleep, which would be the county jail, or go to treatment and do a drug program. So obviously I went to treatment, and that was probably the best decision I've made. I met people that I still talk to today, still hang out with, and those people inspire me in multiple ways. One, a lot of them are around my dad's age, and it's kind of scary seeing somebody that's my dad's age going through the same struggles that I am. It shows me the truth of if I don't fix what's going on now, that could be me. When my parents said that to me, and they almost got me in jail for 11 months, I was betrayed. I sort of hated my parents for a little bit afterwards, but now looking back on it, it was the ultimate act of love. I thought that they were pushing me away and just trying to get rid of me, but in reality, they already saw me on a hospital bed with a super low heartbeat once, and they didn't want that to happen again. I still have conversations with them to this day about it, and we always both tear up, and I just can't thank them enough for what they've done. What I'm trying to say here is, you don't know what anybody is going through. Everybody is the same. So if you could just be nicer to somebody that you know in your life, whether it be an addict or somebody struggling with any other disease, you don't know what you might say might save their life. Thank you.